So yeah, my name's Jordan Wynter, play for Dulwich Hamlet FC, and I'm a holding midfield player. Yeah, so I've been a vegan for around 5 years now. Me and my partner are both vegan. What I was doing before in terms of eating meat and etc., I kind of just went to kind of take that out of my sort of lifestyle. And I found a lot of benefits from within the first sort of period of the transition when I came back from, well, I was injured at the time, came back from an injury. I saw noticeable things where I was recovering faster, I wasn't as bloated. From that moment onwards, I kind of want to associate myself and align myself with brands or things in life that reflect my personality, reflect my values and things that I'm into and things that I think are important for either not just myself but other people in general. 100%, 1000%. I mean, it got proposed to me that it was a vegan football boot, so everyone else, when they heard about it, it was like, oh, you should sort of get involved and whatnot. That sort of piqued my interest from the bat. Done a bit of research, and it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like, why would I not want to associate myself with a brand that's like helping the world with, in terms of like sustainability. It's obviously also a super innovative sort of brand as well in comparison to the other big brands in football. Want to be a bit unique, so I want to follow a trend. I kind of just want to do stuff that I'm interested in doing. So I thought, let me experiment with it, and yeah, since I've worn the boots, I'm actually quite pleased with like the performance of the football boots themselves. A lot more comfortable than I imagined that they would be to begin with, and I'm fully for it. If I was to just put the Sokito football boots up against other football boots, I wouldn't like pick them out and say, oh, that's a vegan football boot. It just looks like a football boot. Yeah, so I've always, since I entered non-league, I was always aware of Dulwich Hamlet. A lot of my friends played for the club in past years. For me, one of the reasons why I wanted to come to Dulwich Hamlet and represent the club is because of the culture that they portray and convey to all of the fans and everyone in the community of football. The things that they stand for, the way that the fans are sort of get together and get behind the players, even though it's fairly generic, it's nothing like I've experienced in non-league at any of the clubs that I've been at or other clubs that I've gone away to experience. What their engagement's like with the fans. So for me, it's like second to none in terms of like one of the best sort of clubs in non-league that you'd want to be associated with. So I would say that's the reason. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say that. I've been doing some research on like academy sort of footballers and the mental health issues that they've had from being released from football, and it just goes to show that, like football isn't the be-all and end-all of everything. In order for, as you get older, you're gonna have to sort of figure out a way to sort of find yourself within just, it could be by expressing yourself or just experimenting on things that you're not too much aware of or you may have interest in, because every single person, especially footballers, like their whole identity is not strictly just football. There's other things that they will naturally have interest in, the things that they want to do in life in the future. And yeah, I think it's basically important for you to sort of tap into those little things that sort of allow you to sort of find your purpose and, not seek validation externally and just living truly to yourself. Yeah, so I started music when I was in secondary school. Again, it was just like a hobby that I was just interested in at the time. As I started getting into full-time football at Arsenal, I kind of put it in the back burner, mainly because I was focusing on football. After, I'm not sure how long, but a while after, when I started to realise that football wasn't going to turn out how I intended it for it to be, when I initially started to look at other things that I'm interested in that I could potentially do either alongside football or once I transition out of football. And I kind of wanted to make sure that I'd do something that I was interested in, and music was obviously one of those things. I ended up making music, networking with people within the industry, like working on my craft. And as time went on, after putting out music and trying to get more engagement and whatnot, I ended up like finding things that worked for me. So one of them was creating like social media freestyles about football, which gained a decent amount of traction at the time. And as I stayed consistent with it for a while, and I got recognition from Rio Ferdinand, and eventually he brought me onto his podcast to sort of do similar sort of freestyles on his platform, and then off of the back of that ended up collaborating with the Premier League, covering freestyles with Arsenal and Manchester United, Manchester City, Tottenham, and done stuff like that really. And it just goes to show, like, when you just tap into things that you're interested in and you're passionate about, like, the world's pretty much your oyster. I never had the intention of collaborating with Rio Ferdinand, even though it probably should have been a goal of mine, but I was just doing things for the fun of it, and then naturally it just happened. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's just important for people to just experiment with what they're interested in. That would be my first opening argument, like a blanket statement of you have to be a bit more open-minded, especially in this day and age and generation that we're in. Once you're open-minded and you sort of do your research and understand the principles, the values behind this brand or any other sort of community or brand, then you understand why, like the purpose of why they even exist, and how it can sort of affect the world in a positive sort of manner, and footballers in general that kind of would associate themselves with the brand.
Great answer. Well then, thanks mate.
All good.